probably heard of instances where artists or companies try to prove that an AI model stole their particular piece of work for their training data. Well, MIT just came out with new research that proves that it might actually be mathematically impossible to prove. So here's what they discovered. So the obvious way to test if a particular training image was used to influence the AI's output is to remove the image, retrain the whole model from scratch, and see if the output changes. But that's insanely expensive to do once, let alone thousands of times for every image in a huge dataset. So the researchers at MIT built something they call a diffusion ensemble. The way it works is that rather by having one big model trained on everything, they trained a bunch of smaller components, each on a different overlapping slice of the data. So if you want to know what happens when you remove one photo, you just switch off whichever components saw that photo. They ran this on 24 of these ensembles trained on datasets ranging from 256 images up to over 160,000. And for every image the model generated, they would make a bunch of alternative versions, each missing one training image, and measure how far each alternate version drifted from the original. They call that the counterfactual radius. Basically, it measures what's the most that any single image could possibly be responsible for. And what they found is that as the training set grows, the radius shrinks and shrinks, following a pretty consistent mathematical curve. They ran the same test treating every photo of one person as a single unit and every painting by one artist as a single unit, and got the exact same pattern both times. When you get past a certain scale, pulling out an artist's entire body of work doesn't change what the model spits out. The image just isn't from anywhere anymore, at least not in the way you could mathematically point to. So this cuts to the legal question of whether an AI image counts as a derivative work at all, since it's not derived from anything you can specifically identify. Legal scholars are already saying courts are going to have to stop relying on whether they can trace it back to the training data and find some other way to judge whether copying actually happened. If you want to stay up to date with the latest in AI and software development, be sure to subscribe to the BetterStack channel.